Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And it's time for another retro Guess the Meltzer review. We're doing things a little bit different. We're sort of hewing closer to the modern day Meltzer reviews.
We're doing whole shows.
We're doing an entire show. So this week, we're doing AEW Double or Nothing. No, not the one that's coming up. The very first one, the one that you and I were at, Larson.
We were there. We were in the building at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, I think it's called.
May 25th, 2019. Of course, this issue of the newsletter that I'm about to quiz you on didn't come out until June 3rd, a whole month later.
Come on, other guys, get with the deal.
This was 5 years ago. They were younger, more spry. You would have thought they'd have been hot like our star
more
ratings,
energetic.
no.
Yeah.
No, man.
No.
Afraid not. Anyways, like I said, you're in the hot seat. Interesting time, May of 2019, the very first AEW show. And boy, oh boy, the excitement behind the product is palpable, not just in Dave Meltzer's star ratings, but in his write-up of the show in general. It says the show taught a lot of things, from the value of social media to the dissatisfaction with WWE. The show had one of the best atmospheres you could have for a wrestling show because Steve and Larson were there. That's in the newsletter. That's crazy that those other guys would shout us out.
Hey, thanks, other guys.
Thanks, other guys. So that's not true, but this is true, and I remember this. He does say, the show was a major success, but in many ways that's been a lock since February, when they sold almost all of their 11,000 tickets in pre-sale in less than 30 minutes. And I know for you and I, Larson, this feels like just yesterday for all intents and purposes, but 5 years is a long time, and a lot has changed since then.
That is true. A lot has changed. But here, 5 years, almost 5 years.
Yeah.
From that very day, I'm going to try to remember what happened that day. Haven't watched the show since, so this is all whatever scant memories I have up here from that whole day. So let's see how well I can do. Are we doing the whole show, or are we just doing the main card? Because there's two kickoff show matches.
What was the Casino Battle Royal
kickoff
on?
Show?
Okay, we don't have to do that.
And then Kip
how about,
Sabian versus Sammy Gavar was on the kickoff show too.
We'll do the same thing that we've done in the past. We won't do the kickoff unless you tank. Unless you tank and you need some sort of salvation. Okay?
There we go. All right, sounds good.
Or additional humiliation. I don't know.
What I mean is it's the coin flip which way it goes.
It really is. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into it. I guess the main show opened up with SCU. This is the worst town we've ever been to. They took on and defeated Chima, T-Hawk, and Lindaman from, what was Strong Hearts?
Strong Hearts, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is what Dave Meltzer had to say about the very first main roster show, or main card show, in AEW history. Daniels came out singing their entrance music, and the crowd did the SCU chant. This match was great! At one point, Chima bent over to do a back body drop on Sky, but Sky jumped onto his back. Description. Oh, it says Lindaman is a small powerhouse and did a delayed German suplex on Daniels. Lots of near falls, ending with Kazarian doing a pescado into a Hurricane Rana on T-Hawk on the floor. Scorpio did a running flip dive. The finish saw Daniels and Kazarian do the double team best Meltzer ever on Lindaman.
Wait, best Meltzer ever?
I think it's what they call the best.
It's like Meltzer
like
driver, but Daniels does the moonsault, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because he has the best moonsault ever.
Yeah.
So they call it the best Meltzer ever, yeah.
He said it was great.
Yeah, he said it was great, and they named a move after him.
And he's really into crowd atmosphere. We've learned that. He's super into crowd atmosphere. I'm going to say he gave this 4.25.
You're so close. He gave it 4 stars.
I almost said 4 stars.
Close.
So
I think
close
also, and I'm not just saying this because this is an example, I do feel like we should sort of stick to how we do the modern day with you either get it or you don't.
Exactly. No, 1,000%. The old way is out the window. This is the new way.
This is part of the new way.
The new way.
Next. Women's action. Britt Baker won a fatal four-way over Nyla Rose, Awesome Kong, and Kylie Ray. This is what David Meltzer had to say about this match. Baker, Rose, and Ray were in the ring. Brandy Rhodes came out in an outfit that you figure she'd be wrestling in. She said she knew these women would have a good match, but she wanted an awesome match that did not bring out the Miz.
Not the Miz.
Awesome was the signal for Kong. The place exploded for Kong. Baker did a crossbody off the apron on Kong, who caught her, but Ray then hit both with a tope. Ray is a really good worker. Rose looked green in spots, but has great presence. She's Native American and reminds me of a female Apache Bull Ramos with her size. I had to read that sentence in advance to make sure that there's nothing offensive there. But this is 2019. You got to usually go back to the 80s for Dave's more... Anyways, people were into Rose and Kong facing off. Kong has a lot of injuries and can't do much, so Rose took her out with a spear into the steps. After exchanging moves, Baker hit Ray with a super kick and then hit the Ushigoroshi on Ray for the pin. What star rating did Dave Meltzer give this match?
Not a lot of editorializing there, but the match itself.
Not really.
I'll go 2 3/4.
Close. He gave it 3 stars.
I'm always a quarter star off on these.
You just got to adjust your thinking by a quarter. You got to
adjust
is it up or
your
down?
Meltzer that's the
quarter.
Issue.
Yeah. You could
every time a quarter star off.
All right, let's talk about this match. Best friends, apropos, given they've recently broke up, and Chucky T's not able to wrestle anymore. Chucky T and Trent Beretta took on Jack Evans and Angelico in 12 minutes and 41 seconds. He says this: Evans is one of those guys who is hit and miss, and he had a great night here. He did a springboard double foot stomp onto the elevated Beretta and assisted standing 450 on Beretta. Beretta did a Ray Stevens bump into the corner. A lot going on here. A lot of description. Here we go. Beretta did a flip dive on Angelico, and Beretta used an Amori driver while T came off the top rope with a double foot stomp as a stuff and pinned Evans. All 4 shook hands after the match. The lights went out, and the Super Smash Brothers were in the ring. You remember who the Super Smash Brothers were?
The Dark Order. That's Stu Grayson and Eve Luno.
Join the Dark Order.
I remember this happened. It was kind of confusing.
Meltzer says, I thought it was silly not to identify them because I just don't think you want to insult any of your audience with the, I have no idea who these guys are. Most didn't know. So I guess you're not really insulting the audience.
Yeah, he's contradicting himself there. What the heck, Dave?
Excalibur said he knew and never identified them. He's really on this point pretty hard. The angle didn't work live. The lights went out again, and a ton of local wrestlers in masks were beating down best friends, Evans and Angelico, and fans were chanting, "Who are you?" The Super Smash Brothers took out Beretta with a sky-high neck breaker. What rating did Dave, and evidently post-match angle, did Dave Meltzer give
All right,
this
so
match?
if they're including the post-match angle, he didn't like it.
Looking at the score, I'd probably take that into account.
2.5 stars.
3 3/4.
Wow, that's awfully high. That's awfully high.
Now that I think about it, that is high. Yeah. But maybe the match was really good, but he didn't really say that. Well, no, he said that Jack Evans had a great night here, which could have been a 4-star match.
That's one of 4 people on the match, though. I mean, everybody else could have had off nights, but
you got to remember the crowd was probably really hot.
A great night.
The crowd was probably really hot. And Dave Meltzer
until
really
the Dark Order thing. I remember we were there. Everybody was like, what the hell is this?
Join the Dark Order. All right, man. Next up, Riho and Ryu Mizunami, and Hikaru Shida beat Asia Kong, Emi Sakura, and Yuka Sakazaki in 12 minutes and 58 seconds. Emi Sakura came out dressed like she was Freddie Mercury with a mustache painted on. At one point during the match, she stopped and started leading the crowd and singing "We'll Rock You." Lots of fast-paced, cool moves. He wrote that. Lots of fast-paced, cool moves. Rio came off the top into a kick by Kong, who then gave her a sick back suplex. Sick. That's an adjective.
Sick.
Kong missed an elbow off the middle rope. Shida and Kong had a kendo stick versus oil can battle. Shida did a power suplex on Sakura. Mizunami did a leg drop off the top on Sakura, but Sakazaki saved. Let's see here. Sakura did a moonsault on Shida for a near fall. This was when the bell rang early. The finish saw Kong hit the spinning back fist, the Uraken, on partner Emi Sakura when Shida moved and Shida did a running knee on Sakura for the pin. What star rating? Did they do a botch with the bell? That sounds vaguely familiar.
It sounds
like
familiar.
The bell rang
yeah.
earlier, an accident, but it wasn't a thing. So what star
I
rating?
This was a fun match.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'll say 3.5.
Damn, dude, so close. That's your story.
Quarter
today,
star
Larson.
off again?
Close.
It's always my
cigar.
story.
3 3/4.
Gosh darn it. Every time it's a quarter star off.
All right, you should know
Except
this
for that one
you
time
should
so
get,
far today.
You should get this one because you should remember it.
This
Cody
one's a
Rhodes
5-star match,
versus...
isn't it? Didn't give this one 5 stars?
Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. You got it. You're on the board.
5 stars, yeah.
You said it. You said it. I'm giving it to you. So you're
5
on
star.
the board. He says... He does say the crowd was just on fire for this. Dustin, after the show, said that this show was easily the highlight of his career. Both were in tears early when the crowd chanted Dusty. Let's see here. So, here we go. Yeah, this match was pretty much perfect for what it was supposed to be. So that says 5 stars. So good job. Good job.
That
good
says
job
5
on your
stars.
memory.
It's pretty much perfect.
Next
Brain didn't
up,
fail me this time.
no star ratings for this, sadly, but he talks about Bret Hart coming out to a super reaction to unveil the new AEW championship belt. So, of course, Bret Hart, first AEW champion.
That happened before the tag match? The Young Bucks and
Yes.
Penta? In
Yeah,
Phoenix?
because now there's 2. Because they didn't do the AEW title at All Out.
Oh,
They
that's
just unveiled
right.
it.
I thought they might
was
have unveiled
Hangman
it
versus-
before the match determined one half of the
So,
match for All Out.
Yeah. So Hangman won the Casino Battle Royal, and then he
Yeah.
took on Jericho.
At All
Different
Out,
card.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this was the Young Bucks versus Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix to retain the AAA tag titles in 24 minutes and 55 seconds. This is what Dave Meltzer has to say. This was nonstop moves. You know what I just realized would help? If Meltzer would use exclamation points.
Yeah,
Like,
it would signify a level of excitement. Yeah.
Instead of just, this is nonstop moves, this is nonstop moves.
I know. No, I agree.
Yeah, right.
Anything would help.
Yeah. So he says, the early part of the match story was that the Young Bucks, since they were rusty, kept getting out of position and screwing things up and bumping into each other. I do remember that.
I remember that too.
And that's pretty clever. Nick and Phoenix both missed drop kicks on the floor and nipped up. Matt pressed Phoenix overhead and speared Pentagon. This is a fairly lengthy write-up here. Here we go. Phoenix did an unreal rope spot on Nick into a diamond cutter on Matt. Period. Not exclamation point.
That seems like it would justify an exclamation point.
I agree. Let's see here. Description. Wow, this is all description here. All right, we'll just get down to the finish. Matt went for a package pile driver on Pentagon with Nick doing a double foot stomp, and Nick followed with an escalera on Phoenix. Pentagon did the broken arm spot on Matt, and a Penta driver for a near fall. Phoenix kept kicking Matt's arm, but Matt got Phoenix up in a one-arm tombstone pile driver, and Nick came off the top rope with the Meltzer driver on Phoenix for the pin. What star rating did Dave Meltzer give this
Not
match?
a lot of editorializing there either.
Not a ton.
I remember it being pretty solid, but not to the same level as Cody and Dustin. I'll say he gave it 4.5.
Oh,
4 3/4. 4 3/4, right?
4 3/4.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
All right, you have one last opportunity here to get one based off merit, not memory.
Well, you don't put any merit in my memory?
Well, I guess these days, yeah, okay. Chris Jericho versus Kenneth Omega. 26 minutes and 35 seconds. I remember this. I thought it was actually cheesy. He says, Jericho's ring entrance had a guy pretending to be Jericho do a number of Jericho's old characters like Lionheart, the List of Jericho, and things like that. If I remember correctly, was it just one? They had like a bunch of costume changes. So it was like, was it multiple people or just one guy?
I thought it was multiple people.
Yeah, I thought it was multiple people too. Thought they had like a bunch of different.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I thought so too.
They had a wild brawl. Omega slammed Jericho on a desk. Omega looked to have broken his nose about 7 minutes in. Looking for some editorializing here. It's a long write-up.
Comparison between this and their Tokyo Dome match.
So it is the lengthiest description write-up that there is. Of all
it was
the
longest match on the card.
Here we go. Omega took a great bump on the apron. Jericho tried a suplex, but Omega punched him off the ropes. They set up going right back to the same spot, which this time went smoothly. Oh, here we go. Omega escaped and threw up some kicks. He went for the one-winged angel, and Jericho went to counter into a DDT, but it was botched. They set up going right back to the same spot, which this time went smoothly. Jericho then hit the code breaker and a spinning elbow called the Judas effect for the pin.
It's a debut.
After the match, Jericho demanded that Omega tell him thank you for the company and getting the TV deal, which he claimed was all because of him. Moxley came out. The whole place loudly chanted Moxley rather than Ambrose, which tells you that this is a total and complete social media crowd with almost no WWE only fans. Moxley hit the dirty deeds on Jericho and then on referee Paul Turner. Was OnlyFans a thing back then? Omega tackled Moxley through the ropes in the Frank Shamrock / Boss Rutan fight spot. Both brawled with Moxley throwing him over the barricade. They brawled to the poker chips, and Moxley hit the dirty deeds on top of the poker chips and gave Omega an attitude adjustment off the top of the poker chips onto the stage. What star rating did Dave Meltzer give this match?
Remember, this match is kind of plodding. Mm-hmm. Didn't really have much momentum.
Mm-hmm.
It really wasn't that great.
Yeah.
The Mox debut kind of salvaged the end of this show.
It did.
Let's say he gave it 3 3/4 stars.
Oh, wow. You're actually a little bit further off. 4 1/4. Dave Meltzer loves AEW.
Get the hell out of here. This match was not a 4 1/4 star match.
I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
Ridiculous.
Seems like a lot of time. 26 minutes, 35 seconds. All right, just for funsies.
For not a lot happening.
For funsies, you want to do the pre-show stuff?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Hangman Adam Page won the Casino Battle Royale in 24 minutes and 1 second. He explains the rules. Everyone figured the final guy would be a surprise, and the idea Page would come in last and win was heavily speculated on, but worked to focus on Page as one of the signature stars. The first 5 in were Brandon Cutler, Michael Nakazawa, Dustin Thomas, who has no legs, Sunny Days, and MJF. The crowd reacted immediately to Cutler and Nakazawa and MJF as stars due to being featured on BTE. MJF was putting the boots to Thomas for easy heat. I remember that. Oh, he explains. Mm-hmm. Thomas had his legs amputated at the age of 3 due to spine issues. Oh, wow. Let's see here. Oh, wow. This is just kind of a fun time capsule. The next group was Brian Pillman Jr. For people who don't know, he's now known as Lexus King. Isaiah Cassidy of Private Party, Jimmy Havoc, Joey Janela, and Sean Spears. Spears and MJF were doing 10 signs and flipping each other off. Even though it was supposed to be 3 minutes, it was closer to 5 minutes before they got in. The crowd was really hot for Spears and MJF. The next group was Billy Gunn, Glacier, Jungle Boy.
Glacier.
Yeah. Mark Quinn of Private Party, and Ace Romero, who got in about 6:30. Let's see here. The next group in was Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt, Sonny Kiss, and Tommy Dreamer. Dreamer went to the back and brought back a garbage can with weapons to get the ECW chant. Let's see here. Gee whiz. This is long. Orange Cassidy then showed up doing his slow motion sloth spots with his hands in his pants. Dreamer threw him right over. Havoc then stapled Dreamer in the forehead and again in the balls and threw out Dreamer. Jungle Boy was holding on to the top rope to avoid going over, but Havoc started biting Jungle Boy's fingers, so he had to let go and he was out. Luchasaurus kicked Havoc off the apron. Page pulled down the ropes, and Luchasaurus went over the top. The bell rang like Page won, but MJF wasn't eliminated. Basically, the finish was spoofing the WWE Battle Royal, where somebody hides, you think it's over, and they show up and win. MJF threw out Page, but Page held on, flipped back in with a buckshot, and clothesline MJF over the top. What did he give this clusterfuck of a match?
I don't know, 3 1/4.
Jesus Christ, dude, 3 stars.
I tell you, every time I'm a 1/4 star off, basically.
All right, let's try this fucking mess. Kip Sabian pinned Sammy Gavar.
Oh, this match was lackluster.
They built up heat at the weigh-in where Guevara kicked Sabian low. They really needed to play that clip before the match. Sabian did a springboard flip on Guevara on the floor. Guevara did a crazy flip dive. Guevara did a triple shooting star for a near fall. Guevara did a shooting star press off the apron onto Sabian's back. Guevara went for a 630, but Sabian got his knees up and hit the death row hallows for the pin. What did he give this bitch?
Not any editorializing.
None.
3 stars.
Boy, you are consistent.
3
1/4.
Gosh.
Wow. All right. Well, you didn't go away empty-handed today. You got 1 star.
Got one right.
You get this Coca-Cola mini fridge.
Wow, really? That could come in handy. You can put it right there.
Congratulations. Yeah. But it's broken. It doesn't work.
Oh, hell.
Anyways, that's going to do it for Guess the Retro Meltzer Review. Next time, we'll do another show. And
Steve will be on the hot seat. See if he does better than I. I mean, it's basically impossible to do any worse than I did.
My goodness gracious. Anyways, that's going to do it. We'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.